Blue Moon, August 30th, 2023. Written, directed, and produced by Reverend Dr. Dickie Joe Mullen. The blue moon is the second full moon in August of 2023. In the United States, the blue moon is considered lucky or fortunate. The blue moon is celebrated with moon pies and crescent-shaped moon cookies. Dr. Mullen will discuss the interpretation of this blue moon on Wednesday, August 30th, 2023.
It's a blue moon, everybody. I'm Dickie Joe Mullen in downtown Orlando, Florida, letting you know that we have a second full moon during the month of August of 2023, at least in this time zone. It depends on which part of the world you're in, but the moon will be full at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 30th of 2023, and that's the second full moon within a single month. That's what a blue moon is. If you've heard the phrase once in a blue moon, it's very rare, and it's usually about 3 years in between blue moons. However, there can be variables. Maybe because it's a blue moon and so magical, sometimes there are two together right next to each other, or it might be more frequent, but usually it's about 3 years. So enjoy the blue moon. Once in a blue moon means there's a lot of lore and legend around the blue moon. Here in the United States, a blue moon is usually considered serendipitous and fortunate and lucky. In other parts of the world, especially Eastern Europe, it tends to be sinister and unlucky. So really, it's intense lunar energy within a single month, and maybe it's dependent upon how we look at it or how we analyze it. This full moon, this blue moon, will be at 7 degrees Pisces, 25 minutes, looking at the chart, again at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's in the double Neptune decanate of the sign of Pisces. The fixed star near here is the fixed star Scat, and it's of a Saturn and Jupiter nature. In Degrees of the Zodiac by Alan Leo, it's a man standing in a heavy rush of rainwater with his arms upraised, seeking help. What is beyond you? What do you need help with? Is it an emotional crisis? Is it getting out of a flood? Is it dealing with a home do-it-yourself project that you overestimated how well you could put on that new roof? I might need a new roof this year, so I am laughing just the very thought of it, of being up there with my hands up, asking for help, even under a blue moon. But it's a crazy and wild time, and we all need help sometimes. It does have a tie with the spirit world, the afterlife. Dragonflies are often related to messages from the other realm. There can be appearances from the wee folk, the gnomes, the little people, the elves, the leprechauns. So keep an eye out for elemental visitors, because don't be surprised if you see one, especially under the light of the blue moon. Looking again at the horoscope of this blue moon, we have Mercury retrograde in Virgo. While Mercury is retrograde, think of the prefix remember, recollect, re-experience, reunion, repeat. It's good for going back to an old situation. If you do start a new job, or if you move under a retrograde Mercury, it's very likely it will be temporary within the next 6 months. The blue moon is affecting you Virgos and you Geminis, the retrograde signs of Mercury, ruled by Mercury, in kind of a turbulent way, and also the need for more energy and more patience. Looking at some of the other influences, Mars, the energy planet, is in its sign of detriment, Libra. Libra is the sign of peace. Mars is the planet of war. And so this is negative for a lot of aggression, a lot of warrior energy, but it's also difficult to maintain peace and justice. Questions of what's fair, what's just, can come to the surface. You air signs of Libra and Aquarius, not as much Gemini, but Libra and Aquarius will have a burst of energy and an urge to get things done under this trend. If you happen to know your birth chart and you know that your natal Mars is in Libra, you're going through a Mars return, and that means that you're setting the pace for the next 2 years. So be careful what you're doing. Mars is just at 2 degrees Libra, so it's just starting. So really the entire sign of Libra from the beginning to the end will be affected. And this next month ahead, this next lunar month, be sure to only focus on what's positive and upbeat in order to make the brightest and the best of things. The Sun and Mercury are in Virgo, opposing Uranus in Pisces. There can be a lot of unresolved issues, some debate, arguments, difficulty in being logical. Advice is not helpful. No one wants to hear what you have to say, and you might just have to let those you disagree with to learn through experience, or it might turn out that they were right all along. Then you won't have to eat crow, whatever that means. But just the whole idea of arguments and advice, who's right, who's wrong, he said, she said, all of those ideas are very much up in the air here. The blue moon can be related to strangeness overall, and there are actually 2 interpretations of a blue moon. The one that I like best is the second full moon within a single calendar month. But the moon can turn blue under smoke. When Krakatoa blew up in the 1800s, the whole world had volcanic ash over the sky, and the moon turned blue for months and months. And in today's world, periods where there are forest fires, a lot of smoke going on, the moon can be blue at different places. And that represents a need for cleansing and for seeing clearly and waiting for illusions to clear. The idea of lunar deities, Selene, Artemis, moon gods and goddesses, the man in the moon, the rabbit in the moon, makes the moon anyway, the full moon, very mystical, maybe even more than the stars and the various planets. And honoring this blue moon with moon cakes, that would be crescent-shaped cookies. Also you can get, there's a commercial moon pie that you could look at if you wanted to have a party. Watermelons, grapes, apples, and dates are all different fruits that are related especially to the blue moon and to the second full moon in Pisces. There is a superstition that a child conceived under a blue moon could either be a werewolf or especially talented. So you're taking a chance if you get romantically involved under the blue moon. There are odd events and the unexpected. Keeping a sense of humor, remembering if everyone and everything were the same, how bored we would be as you look at this blue moon, because it is really an odd one. Its influences last for 2 weeks until the next new moon. This is Dickie Jo in Orlando, Florida, saying watch for dragonflies and beautiful fruit.
Reverend Dr. Dickie Jo Mullen, astrologer, psychic, and parapsychologist. Dr. Mullen provides the following services: astrology, psychic, rune, and tarot card readings, face-to-face and Zoom readings and seances, and webinars and face-to-face presentations. Thank you for watching. Reverend Dr. Dickie Jo Mullen can be contacted at her skymaiden@juno.com email address. She also has a Facebook page, which she invites you to view, and her WordPress site, where she has additional resources.